Welcome, everyone. Today, we are diving into the fascinating, high-stakes world of proofreading in print journalism. Whether it's a daily newspaper or a glossy magazine, someone has to be the final gatekeeper of quality before the presses roll. Let's explore exactly what that means. Let's start with an introduction to proofreading. What exactly is this ultimate quality control check? The print media workflow. To understand proofreading, we first need to look at how a publication comes together. It's a multi-step process. First, the reporter writes the draft. Second, the copy editor checks facts and grammar. Third, the designer lays out the page. And then, at step 4, right before printing, the proofreader steps in. They are the final surface check before mass production. What is proofreading? So what is it? Simply put, proofreading is the ultimate quality control check before printing. While earlier steps focus on shaping the story, the proofreader focuses strictly on the surface-level accuracy of the words and the layout. Their job is to ensure there are absolutely no distracting errors. They are the last line of defense for a publication's reputation. Proofreading versus copy editing. Now, beginners often get confused here. Let's talk about the difference between proofreading and copy editing, because they are two distinctly different jobs in the newsroom. Understanding the roles. Here's how they differ. Copy editing happens first. A copy editor works on the raw text, fixing grammar, checking facts, and applying the publication's style guide. Proofreading happens last. A proofreader works directly on the designed page layout, often called a proof or galley. They are looking for basic mistakes that the copy editor missed, or brand new errors that were accidentally created when the text was placed on the page. The golden rule. Zero rewriting. And that brings us to the golden rule of proofreading. Zero rewriting allowed. A proofreader does not rewrite the story. They don't reorganize paragraphs or change the writer's voice. They act strictly as a safety net for errors on the existing page structure. Key responsibilities. Textual accuracy. So what exactly are they looking for? Let's look at their first key responsibility. Textual accuracy. Hunting for errors. A proofreader is constantly hunting for specific errors. First, typos. This means catching mixed-up letters, like typing HTE instead of THE, or spotting accidentally repeated words. Next, they look for grammar and punctuation flaws, like missing commas or misplaced apostrophes. Finally, they check subject-verb agreement, making sure, for example, that the group are voting is corrected to the group is voting. Reviewing display text. But it's not just the tiny text. Proofreaders must closely review display text. That means the headlines, subheads, and photo captions, also known as cut lines. Because these are the largest words on the page, they are the first things readers see. Ironically, because the font is so big, it is surprisingly easy for our brains to skip right over embarrassing typos in a headline. Key responsibilities, visual and layout. Beyond the words themselves, proofreaders have a second major responsibility, checking the visuals and layout. Spotting widows and orphans. One of the most common layout mistakes are called widows and orphans. This happens when a single word, or a very short line of text, is left looking lonely at the very top or bottom of a text column. These create awkward pockets of white space and can really disrupt the reader's flow. Verifying story jumps. They also have to verify story jumps. If you've ever read an article that says continued on page 4, a proofreader had to manually check that. They literally turned to page 4 to ensure the story is actually there, and they read the transition to make sure no words were accidentally deleted or repeated across the jump. Techniques and tools. Finding all these tiny mistakes is incredibly difficult. So let's look at the techniques and tools professionals use to trick their brains into seeing errors. Tricking the brain. When we read normally, our brains automatically fill in missing letters and skip over mistakes. To stop this, proofreaders use two main tricks. First, reading aloud. This forces you to slow down and hear every single word. Second, reading backwards, from the end of the sentence to the beginning. This breaks the narrative flow and makes spelling errors jump right off the page. Proofreaders' marks. When working on physical paper, proofreaders use standard symbols. These are special drawing marks that tell the designer exactly what to fix. It's incredibly efficient because it eliminates the need to write long, messy, confusing notes in the margins. Common symbols. Here are some of the common symbols used in proofreading. You might see a caret symbol, that little arrow, used to insert missing text. A line with a loop through it means delete. 3 lines under a letter means capitalize this, while a slash through a letter means make it lowercase. There's even a special symbol, the paragraph mark, to tell the designer to start a new block of text. It's almost like a secret language between the editor and the designer. Maintaining credibility. Now, you might be asking, why go through all this trouble just for a few typos? It all comes down to maintaining credibility. Why it matters? Proofreading matters far beyond just spelling. First, it's about public trust. When readers spot grammar mistakes in a news article, they subconsciously start to doubt the factual accuracy of the reporting itself. Second, it prevents legal issues. A single misspelled name in a serious crime story can ruin an innocent person's reputation and lead to massive lawsuits, like libel. The proofreader literally protects the publication. The final gatekeeper. To sum it all up, reporters and editors build the story, but the proofreader polishes it for the public. By dedicating themselves to getting the text and layout exactly right, they ensure that the publication's journalistic integrity shines through in its final, printed form.